Culture is everything. One definition of culture is that it is a surprisingly specific set of beliefs, values, and agreed upon principles. It is manifested through arts, religion, language, accent, tonality, common history, tastes, mannerisms, customs, ethics, values, beliefs, spirituality, affiliations, etc. Culture is the reason some parts of the world are successful while others are not doing so well. It's not genetics or resources. It's the sum of the ingredients I just mentioned, or the lack thereof, that allow or disallow entrepreneurship, innovation, trade, growth, cooperation, intellectualism, rationality, justice, and peace. Culture is the reason that some people accept, or do not, bad leadership and bad conditions. Culture is what defines a population's productivity, aspiration, specialization, and originality. Culture is what empowers most people living today with notions of human rights and liberty, in contrast to people in the past who accepted slavery and oppression as a normal thing. Culture is what unites a population against those who will seek to oppress. In psychology, the self-determination theory suggests that there are three basic psychological needs: competence, relatedness, and autonomy. Relatedness is the need to belong and have meaningful relationships with others. A common identity, such as culture, could be argued to be the strongest catalyst for forming such important relationships, because not only does it help determine individuals, it has helped determine whole nations. People who possess a less than specific culture find it hard to integrate in society. We apparently have a biopsychological need to belong to a tribe, to be associated with a group. Otherwise, would bring about depression. We've all felt the frustration of not belonging. When we lack a group identity, we easily find substitutes, such as assuming the role of sheep, blindly following herds, named after football teams, a political group, or a cult. The more extreme the group's beliefs and activism, the more the intensity of psychological satisfaction. Group belonging through common values or culture satisfies this biosocial need to be associated with a group. But sometimes, deep down, we know that belonging to a group with no depth, such as a sports team or a fan base, whose values are essentially meaningless, doesn't provide any solid, sustainable, and long-term satisfaction of this need of belonging. Culture is something so powerful and so in demand that people are willing to die for acquiring, preserving, or for expanding it and enforcing it onto others if this is part of a specific culture's values. The inevitable rise of rationality in developed societies seems to, sooner or later, bring about the neglect of primal biosocial needs, the most important of which is group belonging. This misguided over-attachment to reason blinds us to our irrational needs, even though the satisfaction of which should be considered rational towards ensuring our psychological health. The loss of social cohesion due to the loss of group identity brings weakness. The fall of the powerful Greek cities just after the Peloponnese Wars and their submission to the Roman Empire. The fall of the Western Roman Empire, the fall of the Eastern Roman Empire, and now the fall of Western cultures and everything they have in common, including values such as free speech, liberty from government, separation of religion and state. These values are not shared by many anymore. There is no solid perception of group identity in the West anymore. One of my favorite YouTubers, Black Pigeon Speaks, mentioned in a video that the Japanese are mainly secular people, but they do respect and retain their traditional spiritual rites and ceremonies, not because they believe in the metaphysic, but because it allows them to maintain a group identity, a culture which unites them. Maybe this social cohesion and unity was what allowed them to emerge out of nuclear destruction to one of the strongest economies and technology-leading countries globally. Maybe that shared culture and common values were what allowed the Arab Empire to expand, what allowed China to become the biggest economy currently, and what gave Western countries the better part of the Industrial Revolution. But not anymore. The Arab Empire fell because through its many conquests, it lost its cultural identity. The West is falling because its unnecessarily lavish welfare encourages laziness and disincentivizes entrepreneurship and self-improvement, core values of its traditional culture. Western leaders make a point that having no culture, multiculturalism, is supposed to be a virtue, but neglect to provide rational arguments as to how that works. In reality, different belief systems inevitably bring conflict, despite of how peacefully different cultures seem to live together. Syria and Iraq today are a good example, where different cultures lived together for centuries but decided to go to war with each other when it was opportune. Same with Yugoslavia, Ukraine, Catalonia, Turkey and Kurdistan, Myanmar, Cyprus, Egypt, and of course, Israel. Different cultures with opposing values cannot be forced to live together in a shotgun wedding. It will inevitably bring conflict sooner or later, while making the marriage insufferable. Thank you for watching. This video was inspired by the YouTube channel The Way of the World. Please like, share, and subscribe. I truly appreciate it.